Welcome back to another episode of Unveiled, the podcast all revolving around the voices that make your wedding day special. Today's guest, we have DJ Joe Sheets. How you doing, man?
Doing great, brother.
Hey,
How are you?
I'm doing great. I want to say thank you for coming on this platform today.
Absolutely. It's a pleasure.
All right, so for the viewers, look in that camera, tell them what you do and what you offer.
So, like you said, I'm DJ Joe Sheets. I've been DJing weddings for a little over 10 years now.
Yep.
I'll DJ anything you need a DJ for, but 99 times out of 100, it's a wedding, and do that about every weekend.
And I'm talking about someone who brings the energy every wedding that I've been present in, that you're in. So I think when I get married, you're probably gonna be my DJ too, man.
I'm in.
Hey, yeah, I want to say thank you again for coming on. But let's give the viewers a little bit of backstory. Why did you get into DJing weddings?
So, to be honest with you, grew up in Lafayette, Indiana, and the #1 radio station there was K105.
Yeah.
Grew up on country music, loved it.
Yeah.
Oh, man, that'd be a great job just to be a disc jockey there.
Yeah.
So went there, talked to them, talked with Seamus. He's like, yeah, well, we can get you. Started working there, worked there for about 5 years. But while working there, a friend of mine approached me and said, hey, did you want to DJ my wedding? I was like, yeah. Never. I mean, I had never thought about it, but they brought it up to me. I'm like, yeah, 100%. I come from a big family, so we had weddings, I feel like every year, 2 or 3 a year, and loved being part of it, loved dancing, ended up being in the center of the dance floor. But they said, hey, would you want to DJ my wedding? I thought, absolutely. But I got to thinking at that time, I'm 23, 24. All my friends are going to start getting married. And
perfect time.
Yeah, if I can kind of snowball into a business, then that'd be great. But
100%.
And that's essentially what it's.
So tell me about the first time you did your wedding. Like the last 2 people we had in here, everybody has that same story. Somebody happened to ask you to do their wedding. You probably did it for free. But tell me, what was that first experience?
So it was nerve-wracking because, I mean, it's the biggest day of their life. You don't want to.
You guys have probably the hardest job.
Well, yeah, I'm not gonna confirm or deny, but yeah, it's a big part of the reception is the music. So I'm getting ready for it. I'm talking with my buddy. I'm like, hey, I think this is what I'm gonna do. This kind of music I'm gonna play, and we're just talking about it. It's like, yeah, that sounds great. We get there, start setting up and doing sound check, and everything's starting to. I'm like, man, this is all coming together. I feel like this is how it should go.
Right.
Just in my head, I'm like, I feel like this is the flow of the night.
Right.
I mean, granted, you work with your photographers, and they're like, we need these pictures here. We need these, and I get that.
Exactly.
But I mean, brides and grooms, they come to me, they're like, we've never done a wedding,
exactly.
So in my mind, I'm kind of saying this is the flow of the night. And I met with the bride, and she, that all sounds good to me. Perfect. And it just worked out extremely well.
So you've done weddings. You've done a lot of weddings so far.
Yes, sir.
And every wedding has its own structure.
Absolutely.
So when you get to the reception part of things for your first wedding, did you have that list of, okay, we're going to introduce the couple, we're going to be doing this, got toast? Or did you just go for
it? A little bit. I mean, it's not something you want to be like, we'll just get there and see what happens. I'm like, this is a big deal for them. Exactly. So I want to be as prepared as I can be. So hey, this is the music I want. This is, I want to have enough music. I want to be ready for everything.
Right.
But yeah, that's when you start thinking like, oh, we need to do toast. Oh, they need to be introduced. Oh, she's got to dance with her dad. He's got to dance with his mom. They have to have their first dance. They need to do. There's a lot going on. There's a lot of moving parts. So as I meet with the bride, I'm thinking, hey, what song do you want to dance with your dad?
Right.
What song do you want playing when you dance with your mom? And as I'm thinking about this, I'm like, well, these need to fit in this puzzle somewhere.
Exactly.
So as I'm figuring it out with the bride or the groom, I'm also figuring it out on my side as well, just at that first wedding. But again, it was they were phenomenal to work with. They were great. They knew this is the first time I'd done it because they just kind of approached me out of the blue.
Exactly.
But yeah, it flowed super well.
So going into DJing, what do you like to do more? DJing for weddings or DJing for other?
Probably weddings because. I mean, at a wedding, people are, we're going to the wedding. They're going to get married. That's great. We're going to have a meal. We're going to drink. We're going to have fun. But after the ceremony, after the dinner, after the speeches, after the first dance, the rest of the night is set up to have fun.
Exactly.
That's the purpose. Where, I've done some corporate events or some Christmas parties.
And it's not as crazy.
Yeah, I mean, you want to have fun, you want to have a good time, but
Exactly.
also there's my boss, there's my coworker. It's like
Exactly.
I can't let them see.
Can't let loose.
Yeah, I can't let loose 100%. A
Right.
little bit I can. So,
Yeah.
I mean, if it's your family, your friends, the bride and groom, you invite your closest friends, the friends
Right.
that know you the best. Like, hey, you guys all know me anyway,
Right.
so let's have a big time.
So, do you have any background in photography? Reason why I asked that because out of all the DJs I know, you are really good at capturing wedding.
So, no, zero
Yeah.
background in photography, but I mean, just with anything, I want to promote myself. I want to
Exactly.
promote my brand. I want to promote DJ Joe Sheets.
Right.
So I would talk to photographers and say, hey, you took great pictures. You care if you can send me some so I could use them for
Right.
my Instagram, for my Facebook, for my website. They're like, yeah, sure,
Yeah.
absolutely. Give me 3 months, and I get which
Yeah.
I get it. They're not gonna be like, oh, here's the raw footage.
Right.
Like they need to go through their process.
Exactly.
I get it. But 3 months down the road,
Like you need them.
well, that's already passed for me,
Exactly.
and I'll have 10 weddings between now and then.
Right.
So I thought, I'll just get a camera, just start taking pictures
Yeah.
for myself.
Yeah.
So I'll take pictures throughout the night and upload 10,
Right.
12, however many to Instagram, to
Right.
Facebook, and I mean that's for me. That's essentially all I need it for
Right.
is the promotional for the Instagram for my website and stuff like that. So after I have that, I tell the couples, and I don't necessarily promote this because again,
Exactly.
I'm not your photographer.
Right.
It's not like, oh, we'll take pictures. I don't. That's not when I finish using them. I put it on a flash drive and I give them all to the
Got you.
bride and groom. I'm like, hey, these are not going to be as good as your photographers
Right.
because I'm not your photographer. But
At least I still got them.
it's more pictures.
Yep.
And I mean, sometimes you only have the photographer for until a certain time of the night.
Yep.
Well, I'm going to be there all night.
Yep. That was
So-
my next point because we do weddings right after they do their toast or
Mhm.
whatever. We're probably cutting out.
Yeah.
You're there the rest of the night
Yeah.
getting some photos that the photographer probably wasn't.
And I get it. A lot of weddings, it's, hey, I'm just taking pictures of the same 10 people on the day.
Exactly.
Like, I get that.
Yeah.
And that's, I mean, it's an expensive day. 100% I get
100%.
that. But more pictures, I guess.
So, I want to know you a little bit better. Who is Joe outside of DJ?
So I grew up in Lafayette. I grew up on a farm, cattle farm. Loved helping my dad with the cows. Loved doing that. I
Yeah.
thought, I'll grow up and be a veterinarian. I'll get to work with cows. I'll still get to work with my dad. Still get to work on the farm. Still get to be close to my family.
Right.
Well, that's not something just like, oh, I'll just go do that.
Exactly.
I mean, our veterinarian growing up, very close with him. He's a phenomenal guy.
Yeah.
Smarter, so smart. Learned a lot from him.
Yeah.
But it takes a special person
Oh,
to become
100%.
a doctor if you that.
Yeah.
So that that didn't end up happening.
Yeah.
So, but still work on the farm. Still love being around that. Still love family. Loved music growing up. I mean, my mom always said, "Man, if you could remember your spelling words like you can remember the lyrics to a song, you could." Yeah, but I can't.
Yeah.
So, but I could. I mean, remember music and growing up. I mean, I'm one of 4 kids.
Yeah.
I mean, growing up, my dad loved country music from, Randy Travis, Willie Nelson. My mom loved music from Dean Martin to John Denver. My
Yeah.
siblings loved from Biggie to Coldplay
Right.
to Goo Goo Dolls to name it.
So you had a ton of different
Yeah,
genres.
yeah. I mean, I'm growing up listening. I mean, my brother's taking me to practice. We got to go pick up my sister. So I'm growing up hearing everything, hearing the
Right.
whole, hearing everything. So just get to know it, and you just get to figure out what music you like. And I mean, that's a big part of DJing too, because yeah, if it was up to me, I mean, I'm a huge Eric Church fan.
Right.
That's not necessarily wedding music.
Right. Exactly.
So, you have your songs, you're playing your songs, but the reception's a living, breathing thing.
Oh,
You gotta
100%.
figure out, oh, this is what they're vibing toward, or this is what they're hanging on to. So maybe I stay in this area for a while and throw out the playbook, and you got to run with whatever the dance floor is going with.
Exactly.
So
I'm glad you just answered that. I was going to be leading my next question is, you're into this wedding process and coming up with a playlist. How would you prefer it? Somebody give you a playlist, or do you just go off the vibe and the crowd? Obviously, you have a blueprint, but
So, so yeah, I'll meet with the couple about 2 months before their wedding.
yeah,
Just kind of go through the day, like, hey, this is what I tell them. I'm like, hey, I'm gonna lay out the wedding the way that I lay it out.
yep,
I'll explain to you why I lay it out like that. Then afterwards, you can say, hey, dude, we don't like that.
yeah,
We would rather do it like this, which is great.
yeah,
It's your day,
yep,
but I'm just letting you know all these things need to happen, from speeches to cutting your cake to
yep,
your dances to all that. So we'll discuss that, and I'll say, hey, what music do you not like?
yeah,
Hey, we do not like, I don't know, Queen.
yeah.
All right, I can. So if somebody comes up to me and says, hey, dude, you got to play Bohemian Rhapsody.
Well,
In the back of my head, I'm like, well, the bride and groom don't want to hear
yeah.
that, and they're the boss tonight, so
So
I
do
can.
you play it?
Well, I can kind of be like, like, hey, man, great request. Let me see what I can do.
Yeah,
But I'm not gonna throw the bride and groom under the bus,
right.
and well, I got some good music coming up, so
Exactly.
just hang on
Exactly.
tight. But for the songs that they do want to play, I've had people send me a lot of music, more more than like, hey, I'm not going to be here that long,
Yeah.
so I don't need that much. What I tell them is, hey, give me 10, 15, 20 songs or groups
Yeah.
or genres,
So
or
you
like,
know how to maneuver.
so I can say, hey, oh, these guys like Bruno and they like Justin Timberlake,
Yeah.
but they also like Whitney Houston, AC/DC, and Def Leppard. Like,
Yeah.
give me an idea,
Right.
so I can go like, okay, this is the kind of music they like.
Right.
They like Backstreet Boys. They'll probably also like NSYNC
Yeah.
and that 90s genre. Or they
Exactly.
like AC/DC. They'll also probably like Def Leppard and
Right.
all. Just give me an idea,
Yeah.
so I can kind of run with that.
Perfect. So let's jump back into your said one of three siblings. Four
Yes,
siblings.
I'm the fourth. I'm the
You're the
youngest
fourth,
of
so you're
four.
okay. So
Yes,
you're the
sir.
youngest. So yeah, what else do you like to do outside of DJing?
So I know I'm listening to music all the time. My mom's like, man, don't you ever just turn the radio off? I'm like,
I have to.
yeah, not well. You think I have to, but
Right.
sometimes like, man, I'm listening to the dance music all the time. Sometimes I like to slow it down and listen to some older country music and stuff
Yeah.
like that. But grew up on the farm. I love to hunt. I play the guitar a little bit. My wife and I, we love to travel.
Yeah.
We got married. It's 8 years ago, a little over 8 years ago.
Congratulations.
Thank you, sir. And she said, hey, let's go to a national park for our honeymoon. And I didn't care. I'm like, yeah, that's great. In the
Yeah.
back of my head, I'm like, well, not that. It's like I grew up on a farm.
Yeah.
I got like, what's the difference?
Right.
But man, it was amazing.
Right.
So we're trying to hit all the national parks.
Right.
So we try to
So
do
what
that
you
as
do?
often
You
as I
just do
can.
like rent a van? You got an RV or?
Well, you grew up in Indiana. There's not a
Right.
whole lot of national parks close, so
Right.
a lot of them are out west. So we'll get out there, get an Airbnb for a week, and
Right.
just hit if there's a lot in a area in a state,
Yeah.
we'll try to hit as many as we can. But
Yeah.
we really like to travel.
Yeah, me and my fiance, we want to get out to your zone, bugging me. So I definitely want to have to check that out.
It's crazy. You have in your mind like, oh, I've seen pictures,
Right.
but then you get out there like,
It's like a
no,
whole nother thing.
no, those pictures
Like,
don't
what
do it
is another
justice.
thing? Like, we want to do a whole tour, obviously go there, but what's the thing that's in the sky?
Aurora Borealis,
Yes,
the
but it's
Northern
like
Lights.
you do like a whole path. Like, you go see the Rocky Mountains.
Yeah,
So,
it's out west, that stuff's crazy out
Oh,
there.
yeah.
I've had people like, well, why would you want to go out there? I'm like, well, visit once.
Yeah.
And
yeah. So going into wedding scene, can you think of one wedding that stuck out to you, or maybe early in your career, like this is something I want to continue doing?
yeah, I lucked out with that first wedding. I
Yeah.
lucked out big time.
Was there a lot of people that were getting married in that wedding?
No,
Okay.
not that as much as it was just a party.
Right.
Everybody there was having fun. The dance floor was full.
Yeah.
It was great.
Yeah.
And just being there, I'm like, man, this is awesome. This is fun.
Yeah.
You get to be part of the party, and you get to work close to people. You get to meet a lot of great people.
Yeah.
But yeah, I ended up doing her brother's wedding. And then, like I said, it just kind of
Snowball.
it just snowballs.
Yep.
And I'm sure as you can attest, a lot of it's word of mouth. You can
Oh,
you can do
100%.
as much advertising as you can do as much advertising
Yeah.
as you want. But
Yep.
if somebody says, "Hey, is he any good?" Yeah, he's awesome.
100%.
You're gonna go with that more than you'll go with a picture.
Exactly. And
So,
it's like for us, we do a wedding, we finish a wedding, we give the clients back their video or photo, whatever the case may be. That one person might know 1,000 people.
yeah, for
So
sure.
I might 10 is probably like a high, but
hmm
I might get 5 to 6 stories just off that one wedding.
Yeah,
So yeah, word of mouth travels far.
for sure.
Yep. I know. Shout out Haley. 'Cause I'm pretty sure that's where we met.
Yeah, vintage jokes. Yeah.
Yep. She has an amazing wedding venue. We've been out there numerous times, but you and her combined, that's just a show right
Well,
there.
and that's, I mean, yeah, she's great to work with, her family,
Yeah.
but you get to meet so many other vendors. I
Yep.
mean, from the florist to the bar to the
Yep.
venue to, I mean, one of my friends from high school, she owns a bridal boutique and
Yeah.
she sells bridal gowns. I mean, photographers. You get to meet a whole bunch of people because I can't. I think the DJ is one of the last things you book,
Right.
just because. All right, we need to figure out where we're getting married.
Right.
What's the date? So I'm usually the last. I'm usually the last thing people book.
Right.
But I mean, I've had people come up. Hey, do you know any good photographers? Hey, do you know any good venues? Which, yeah, I do. But I mean, I've gotten to meet so many. I'm like, yeah, I have a ton for you for you to pick from because I've gotten to work
Done
with.
a lot.
Yeah, I've done a lot, but have just gotten to work with some amazing vendors.
Right. So, because we've been following each other for a long time,
hmm
and I just gotta ask because I don't think nobody has probably asked you before. You have a pre-wedding ritual. You have a pre-wedding ritual, and it's to I can't even think of the song
All
right
the
now.
lights.
All the
with
lights.
Kanye and Rihanna.
Tell me what made you begin to do.
So I just think I think that's a great song. It's a banging
Yeah.
song. So I still remember the wedding. I still remember where I was. I was like, oh, I'll just record this.
Yeah.
Like I pump my fist and dance.
Yeah.
I mean, it's kind of gets me going. I'm like, after I do that, I'm like, all right, I'm ready to go. Let's
Exactly.
go. So it's fun, and I have a ton of fun doing it. So I ended up posting it. Well, you do it one wedding, you do it two, you do it four, you do it eight. It becomes a thing, and
Ritual, yeah.
and I've had brides and grooms like, hey, have you done your thing yet? I'm like, no, not yet. Like,
Yeah.
but it's coming.
Yeah.
But it's turned into, oh, I'll do this one time to, oh, I'll do it two to four to eight. But like you said, it's turned into a pre-wedding ritual. It's like,
Yeah.
well,
That's what gets your day back.
yeah, exactly. And
Yeah.
I love doing that. So
We gotta come up with one. What do you guys think we should do? Nothing.
And
He don't just dance. He
what?
go crazy.
Well, it's about 15 seconds. It's not like I'm busting out choreography or everything, but it's the same dance. It's the same thing every time. But
No. Don't cut it there. Don't cut it there. Because he's also the only DJ I see actually interact with the crowd. So he dances. But all right, so got that out the way. Now let's move on to hot segment.
here,
It won't get too spicy.
all right,
You don't want to answer, don't skip over it.
got you.
All right. What's one song you absolutely hate?
I'll say two.
Okay.
But they're for the same reason.
Yeah.
People will say, "Hey, play the chicken dance or the Macarena." Yeah, and I get it. Like
Yeah.
I know what's going on in your head, and I get it. It's like, oh, this is an easy dance.
Yeah.
Everybody will dance. It's super easy, which I agree with 100%. Both of those songs are way
too
longer.
long.
They're longer than you think they are. So where they're doing it and they're having fun, but it just goes over, and they kind of start looking at me, and I'm like, yeah, I know. So there's times where I kind of have to cut it. I cut it short just to kind of help them out.
Yeah.
But not that I hate, because I'm all in for anything that gets the crowd going, gets the dance floor full. I'm all in with that.
Yeah.
But there are some times where I'm like, in the back of my head, I'm like, this song's longer than you think it is.
Yeah.
But
It's about a 5-minute song, ain't it?
yeah,
Yeah,
five
it's
and a
long,
half.
and then what you see happens is people start to fade away from the dance floor.
Yeah.
Let's bring it back.
So if I start seeing that, I'm like, all right, I think this might be a good time to
Right.
kind of fade it out and start the next song
Right.
in. But
So question 2. How do you feel about Bruno Mars?
big Bruno fan.
You don't think it's overplayed?
No. And And that's another, that is another point.
Yeah.
You think, oh, Living on a Prayer or Sweet Caroline or
I guess those are,
Mr. Brightside, you're like, man, those get played at every wedding.
yeah.
Yes, you're 100% right. But there's a reason behind that. I
Yeah.
mean, that people are waiting to go ba ba ba.
Yeah.
People are waiting to hear that. You think, oh, I don't necessarily want that kind of music at my wedding,
Yeah.
or like maybe you're just not a Bon Jovi fan. You're like, hey, we're
Right.
out. Like that's a different story.
Yeah.
But if you're like, oh, I don't want this because it gets played all the time. Like, yeah, you're right. It
Right.
does. But it's because that's what, like, everybody knows what to do with those songs. So
Exactly.
there's a lot more crowd interaction,
Right.
and gives them a reason, like, oh, I know how to dance to the Cupid Shuffle. I
Right.
know how to sing to Sweet Caroline. I know, so it'll bring more people out.
Right.
So not my pushback, because if they say, hey, we do not want these songs, you got it. It's your
Yep.
wedding. Won't be done.
Yep.
But my pushback is, I guess, it's like, hey, I get it. I hear you 110%. But that's what's going to get people out there.
Yeah.
So let's get them out there. I'll keep them out there.
Right.
But let's get them out there. And 9 times out of 10, like, yeah, you're right. You can play it. You can play a few of those.
Yeah.
I'm like, yeah, I'm not going to play
Boom,
Sweet
boom, boom.
Caroline, then Live on a Prayer. Like, I'm
Right.
not going to boom, boom, boom. I'll mix them in so it kind of
Right.
helps with the night. But
Right.
but yeah, I get it when they're like, oh, those get played all the time.
Yeah.
Well, that's because that's what people want to hear.
Exactly. Yeah. I guess that's a good way to look at it. Okay, so I got another question for
Yeah,
you.
yeah.
How do you, as a DJ, and some people might come up to you, probably indulge a little bit too much alcohol. How
Mhm.
do you feel about song requests?
I'm fine with it. My pushback for that is like, hey, do you take song requests? Absolutely.
Yeah.
So we're in the middle of the night. We're playing Kanye, or we're playing Bruno Mars, or we're
Yeah.
playing, like, everybody's having a good time, and somebody will come up with a, hey, can you play George Jones? He Stopped Loving Her Today.
Yeah.
I'm like,
So slow.
I get it.
Yeah.
It's a great song, maybe the greatest country song of all time.
Yeah.
Not really the vibe we're going for. You
Right.
know, one, it's a super sad song.
Yeah.
Two, it's slow. So I will talk with the requester. Say,
Right.
hey, can you play this song? Like, hey, I will, like, let me get there. Even
Yeah.
if it is a good song and we're here and it brings it down just a little
Yeah.
bit, I'll tell them, I'm like, hey, great request. I will play that. Let me get to it though. It won't be next.
Yeah.
But I will.
Fade into
I
the
will.
slower
Yeah,
songs.
I may bring it from a super fast song a little slower, like just kind of gradually let them down,
Exactly.
instead of like, hey, well, let's go to
Right.
drop to that. So
Exactly.
so yeah, I will say, hey, great request. I'm all in. Let me get to it, and they'll
Right.
go, yeah, you
Right.
you bet.
Okay, you're married. What
Sir?
would you prefer if you had it? I don't know if you did have or not have it. Live bands or DJ?
I had a DJ,
Yeah.
but and I've had friends. They've come up to me and they say, hey man, we're gonna book you, but my wife wants a band, or my husband, my fiance wants a band.
Yeah.
And from my heart, I mean, when I say this, I go, that's fine. Like,
Yeah.
I want you to have a great wedding.
Right.
End the story. If you like, you have a band, like, you've been to a concert, they're playing songs you love. That's awesome.
Yeah.
Or you have a DJ. He can play a little more Kanye or Jay or
Yeah.
Biggie or whatever you want to hear.
Right.
Some things a DJ can offer, a band can't. But there's some things that a band can offer that a DJ can't.
Exactly.
So there's a flip side to the coin.
Right.
And personally, I would do a DJ. We did a DJ. I have
Yeah.
a good friend DJ mine. But I mean, if you want a band,
Go for it.
go for it.
100%.
It's your wedding. You're only gonna have one. Do what you want. It's your day. And
Right.
that's what I'll tell couples that too. It's like, oh, we really like 90s country,
Yeah.
but my family doesn't like, they don't really like it. I'm like, okay, that's fine. It's your day though.
Exactly.
So make sure, I don't want you to end the day and think, man, I wish we would have heard a little more. Let me know. We'll work through it. I may not play a full hour of 90s country,
Right.
but I can sprinkle it in. I
Exactly.
can disguise it.
Exactly.
So you're having fun, and your family are like, oh,
Yeah.
this is an upbeat country song that goes with the music.
Yeah.
Like, talk with me about it.
And of course, you get to drinking a little bit more. You forget what's been played.
Yeah,
So
exactly.
It works.
Exactly.
So what is your all-time favorite wedding song? You want to choose one?
I have to pick one. I have to play one. And I gotta go Whitney. I want to dance with somebody.
Ooh, okay.
Because you're getting everybody.
Getting
I
everybody.
mean,
Facts.
you want somebody who's like, oh, I want to hear the new stuff, or like everybody knows Whitney.
Wait, check this out. Jason, what did I used to play back at the bar? Close. That was that too. But Whitney was my go-to.
Yeah. But I would go. I want to dance with somebody.
Yeah.
But I mean, that's a banger.
Yeah.
But I mean, she's also got How Will I Know?
Yeah.
Or you can go Usher with Yeah. You can go Bruno
Yeah.
with 24 Karat.
Yeah.
I mean, you can. To now it's Waka Flocka with No Hands is a banger. Like there's a lot, but Whitney's gonna reach more.
Right.
Is gonna reach more people than
100%.
Waka Flocka or somebody else.
Of course. All right, so I guess we just wrap it up with these last couple of questions.
Yeah.
You're speaking with a potential client, or if you have any tips for couples, what do you think they should be looking for?
So I've told couples this. Talk to your other vendors.
Yeah.
Because they do it every weekend, whether it's the venue, whether it's the bar, whether it's the photographer, whether it's the floor. Like we all interact.
Yeah.
Like I know a lot of florists. You wouldn't think, oh, the DJ and the flowers, they don't like.
Right.
Yeah, we're setting up at the same time. We get to know each other. Talk to your vendors.
Yeah.
They know. They're not gonna hold back. But
Right.
like, yeah, we need a DJ. Okay, these are the 3 people I work with that I really like.
Yeah.
That's my non-biased advice.
Right. Thank you for that. So just to close it out, tell these people and look in that camera where they can find you if they want to book DJ Joe Sheets.
DJ Joe Sheets. You can find me online. I'm at djjoesheets.com. Instagram at DJ Joe Sheets. Hit me up. Let's have a big time.
Hey, don't leave anything out. You have won the knot. You're 21, 22, 23, and 24.
Mm-hmm. Knot and Wedding Wire. Couples best choice. Best in weddings. Yeah, we have a good time.
So if you are looking for a DJ that's literally going to bring the energy, bring the fun, I wouldn't recommend anyone else other than DJ Joe Sheets. I want to say thank you for joining us today. Getting to know you a little bit better.
Absolutely.
And I hope the rest of your wedding season is great.
I appreciate that, man. It's my pleasure. Thank you so much.
Yes, sir. Well, I want to thank you guys. Don't forget to like, comment, and subscribe to the channel. Stay tuned for the next episode.